Chilling today, and I have my bathrobe on looking like a big cat.
Venom to tigers, they snacking. What's happening? Carol Baskin.
Hi, it's Terreana. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel today.
And whacked them.
Today I have some really cool, simple DIYs for you guys. I know everybody has been washing their hands and they're all crusty and busty right now, so I want to do a DIY to help everybody out. First, we're going to do a really simple spa glove, and then we're going to do a coconut body butter. Super simple, super easy ingredients. And then I'll have a link for my homemade hand scrub. So let's go ahead and get started. You'll need a sewing machine if you're going to use a sewing machine, or a needle and thread if you're going to sew by hand, or fabric glue if you choose to glue it. Again, I don't recommend gluing it, but it is an option. You'll also need your fabric. Here I have an old skirt that I'm going to use for this DIY. You can also use sweats. You can also use a nice thick t-shirt. If you have an old bathrobe or something really soft, any type of material that's really nice and soft pretty much works for this. You'll also need some scissors, a type of marker to create your pattern, some fabric pins, and fabric tape is optional. Fabric tape helps you kind of figure out how much extra fabric you'll need for your pattern. And that's it. Start with the fabric inside out, and I'm going to trace both of my hands. And this is going to be for my pattern. I'm going to leave a little bit of room in between my fingers, about 1/4 of an inch. And I'm also going to leave a little bit of room towards the bottom so that I can be able to fit my hands through. When I trace around each finger, I'm gonna overdraw about 1/4 of an inch between each finger. So I'm just going to draw, leaving a little bit of space, so that way we can have a little bit of extra fabric for when we sew. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is going to be on the inside of the glove and no one's ever gonna see this. Towards the wrist portion, you're going to do the same thing. Leave a little bit of extra space. What we're gonna do now is go ahead and pin this with some fabric pins, and then we're gonna just cut around it, and then see there's 2 pieces here. Then we're gonna trace this pattern one more time on the double layered fabric, and that way we'll have 2 patterns for 2 gloves. This is my first pattern. You see I cut it out. It's a little bit larger and it's all pinned and ready to go. So now I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to lay it right on top of the other piece of fabric. And I'm basically going to just do the same thing. I'm going to trace it and then cut this out and pin it. Now we have our two gloves. They each have two separate pieces of fabric and they are both pinned together. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to fold the wrist portion up a little bit, and then we're going to sew this line right across there on both of the gloves and on both sides. So just like that, we're going to sew right across there. Now if you have some fabric that won't ravel, you can skip this step, but just for purposes of this video, I'm going to go ahead and sew this so that you guys can see how to do it. Now we're going to do the second portion. You want to line it up so that you know each part is even. Have both sides sewn. So now we're going to take our glove and we're going to sew all the way around the perimeter. For this step, if you are using glue, you just follow the exact same steps, but you use glue. You also want to make sure that you wait till the fabric glue completely dries before you move to the next step. That way you won't mess up your work in between. The same with hand sewing. You follow the exact same steps, you just sew it by hand. First spa glove is already sewn around. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the second one, and then we're going to pull these right side out. We have both gloves turned inside out. Let's go ahead and put these on. You're welcome to sew a hem down on the wrist portion, but I like to just fold it under. It looks really nice and neat. And there you have it, our two gloves. So let's go ahead and move on into our coconut body butter. For our next DIY, we are going to take some coconut oil. We're also going to need a little hand mixer, a bowl, some essential oils. I got this locally. Also a spoon and a container with a lid. You can do something kind of fancy if you like, but I didn't have anything like that on hand, so I'm just using a regular, degular, smegula little plastic container. All we're going to go ahead and do is scoop out some coconut oil, and then we're going to put it into our bowl. You want to make sure that your coconut oil is solid. Then I'm going to add a few drops of essential oil and then just blend it until it's a nice thick whipped consistency. This is the container I'm going to be putting my whipped body butter in, so I'm basically going to just measure out the container. And this is pretty much all I'm gonna do for today. A little bit goes a long way with this stuff, so if I need more, I could just whip it up. And it's so fast to do this. Keep your body butter in a cool area so that it doesn't melt. If it happens to melt, you can just re-whip it once it gets solid again. It's just about whipped, so now I'm gonna go ahead and add a drop of essential oil, maybe 2 drops. This is what we have right now. If you have shea butter, you can mix shea butter with this as well to give it an even nicer consistency. Let's have a nice little spa time. I'm gonna start off with some water and rinse my hands. And I'm going to take my spoon and get some of my hand scrub. I will leave a link in the description bar. And I'm just gonna go ahead and massage this through my fingers. Then I'm gonna rinse that. My hands are all rinsed. As you can see how moisturized my skin already is just from that scrub. So now I'm going to take a towel and pat dry. Now I'm going to take some of the body butter and put a little bit of that on my hands. Massage that through. Now I'm going to take my gloves that we just made and put those on. You go ahead and leave these gloves on overnight and your hands will be incredibly smooth. I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Don't forget to check out my website, itsterreana.com, for more DIYs, body scrubs, and things like that. Also check out my other socials. It's Terreana pretty much everywhere, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye guys.
Carol Baskin.